naked short selling, and what's the difference between short selling and a naked short selling?
Well, we've been through that. Naked short selling is, you can't do naked short selling anymore, so it's pretty much irrelevant. Naked short selling was a means by which you fail to deliver stock. You just sell shares and don't deliver them. And it's like in America, it's called a failed trade. I mean, the trade's there, but it doesn't settle. And then you buy them back at a time of your choosing after the settlement date has passed. I.e., you're selling stock without delivering it. But you can't do that anymore. So any short trade has to be with borrowed now.
Okay, some stocks are hard to short because the shares are not easily available to borrow, which could happen for a variety of reasons. What are these reasons, and talk a bit more about it? Generally, stock lending is a very profitable business, and institutions who own shares are happy for their shares to be loaned out because the primary brokers, the big institutions, will get money. When you borrow shares, you don't borrow them for free, you rent them, so you pay interest on the value of the sale. In the old days, that used to be offset by interest. If you were short, you would get interest on the money raised from selling the shares. Obviously, you don't receive the money until such time as you buy back the shares, but you get interest on the shares that you borrow. But you have to pay a borrowing. Well, I'm saying in the old days, now you don't, because the interest rate is zero, so you don't get anything for the money raised. But you do have to pay a borrowing fee. So therefore, borrowing is very popular. So therefore, the institutions lend stock. Now, where a stock is not borrowable is generally because it's very small, and there's no institutional clients, and therefore you've got private clients who don't hold their stock with big primary brokers, and therefore there is no stock to lend out. Now, as I said earlier, that's unfortunate because a lot of those companies are just the ones that I might look at and think I would like to short that, but if there's no borrow, you can't. And that is normally, it's very small companies where, say, over 80% of the stock is held by private retail investors. There's no borrow, so I'd say now any company with a market capitalisation of less than £50 million, say, is going to be tricky to borrow stock on. What's the most effective way of taking a bearish position on a particular common stock, aside from short selling?
Well, you can buy a put option. You can, taking a bearish position on a common stock, other than short selling, you would buy a put option. That's the only way I can think of offhand. If there's no borrow on a stock, there's pretty unlikely to be options out on that stock, so you just have to ignore it and do nothing. You know, if there's no borrow on a stock, it's very unlikely you'd be able to go and buy a put option on it. So you just have to walk away and think, you have to find something bigger or with more institutional holders.